Hey, I'm Radish, and my partner Justin and I just got back from a 3-day climbing expedition up Washington State's Mount Olympus in the Olympic National Park. 50 miles and 3 days of backpacking for one humble pitch of 5'6" rock. True, and we felt that at times, but yet, this was hands down one of the most aesthetic climbs that I've led. The Blue Glacier route is about 50 miles round trip with 10,000 feet of climbing. This is one of those expeditions that takes a lot of effort to get to the base of the actual climb. Classic Pacific Northwest. The long weekend of Labor Day hit, so end of August, beginning of September, and we had the perfect weather conditions for it, which are often hard to come by in one of the rainiest places in the world. Starting at the Pacific Ocean, Justin and I followed the Hoh River up through old-growth rainforest. The day was hot and humid. 18 miles along the Hoh River with extremely heavy packs was a grueling effort, but the hike itself was fantastic. Past herds of elk, vibrant mushrooms, and some of the largest trees in the world. Eventually the forest opened up and we got our first views of the Alpine. The intense seasonal rains had washed away significant parts of the cliffs, forcing us up and down a series of steep and loose rope ladders to get us to base camp. We made a base camp at the foot of the Blue Glacier, 18 miles upriver and 4,300 feet above sea level. In the early morning hours, we scrambled through the dark, up and over the lateral moraine of the Blue Glacier. It's hard to describe the scale of the Blue Glacier. A massive expanse of ice, a river of ice moving down the entire valley, something reminiscent of Alaska or Patagonia here in Washington State. We roped up and stepped onto the Blue Glacier as the sun rose, illuminating the deep blues of the glacier ice. A warm breeze wafted down from the ridges, while a biting cold hit us from the bulk of ice below us. We worked our way across the lower blue, and then unroped as we started the mixed, rocky slabs and steep ice up Snow Dome. As we rounded the top of Snow Dome, we arrived on the high plateaus of the Upper Blue, with the Pacific Ocean and the entirety of the Olympic Range stretching out before us. Canada was clearly visible across the Strait of Juan de Fuca. We roped back up here and started picking our way across the maze of awe-inspiring late-season crevasses, each large enough to swallow office buildings, towards Crystal Pass. The max side of the pass held even more complex cracks to navigate as we worked our way towards the false summit, including some spicy sections forcing us to climb down into and back out of crevasses while on belay. Climbing up and over the false summit included some class 4 scrambling, but mostly it was just incredibly loose and awful rock. It dropped us squarely at the base of the summit pyramid. The final climb up the north face of the rock tower was about 100 feet of solid 5/6 trad climbing. You won't find any bolts out here, so we placed our own protection with a handful of cams and nuts as we were climbing. I led the north face and split it into 2 pitches, belaying Justin up to me as he cleaned my gear. After a brief exposed ridge scramble, there was nowhere higher to climb. We were finally on the summit of Mount Olympus. After a quick snack and signing the summit register, we made 2 quick rappels with our 30-meter rope back down the north face. Then we began the long, winding traverse back down through the crevassed, hulking mass of the Blue Glacier. By the time we reached camp, the sun was back below the horizon and we passed out. The final day, we quickly packed up camp and boogied down the 18-mile approach along the Hoh River through thick valley fog, under the old growth, past the vibrant mushrooms, and out to the Pacific coast.